We should be going live. All right, we are live. Hello, 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 intuition of the soul. I'm Kitty Foss, and I am here with Amy J, who will not be on camera. She's feeling better, but she's not feeling camera better. And we're here today with Jen Deraspe. Make sure I got the P in there. And who's coming to us from Western Maine. And Jen has a business called Nurture Through Nature. And I was just reading about it, Jen. It's quite fascinating. So I hope you tell us a little bit about that, because down the road we want to do some retreats, and that looks like a wonderful destination. But tonight she's going to be helping us look at the work by Byron Katie, looking at mental freedom and clarity, how we can progress and really come to look at our judgments and get out of the suffering, the Piscean suffering mentality, and how we can really learn about the way we think about things. So I'm so excited about this. This was something that I got a lot of asking from Spirit. Can you find somebody? Can you find somebody? And I was so happy when you agreed to come. Thank you, Jen, so much. And we are so grateful for you sharing the work with us. Maybe we can, Amy, you want to say anything, even though you're not on camera?
No, just that I really am very excited to be here. I'm sure there's going to be some wonderful information that is really going to be what I need right now at this time of my life with this illness and all that. And so I'm just very excited that Jen is here and that I'm able to make it live. So thank you.
She really understood. It was very important to all of us. I'm going to ask all of our guests to mute. Obviously other than Jen. And Jen, would you introduce yourself and tell us? I love the story you told me about how you got into this. So maybe we can start there. We kind of collect people's stories.
Sure. Thank you for having me, Kitty and Amy and all of you. I appreciate bopping into your intimate circle here and feeling welcome. So my intention for tonight is that we leave at the end of this hour together where you know what the work of Byron Katie is and what it isn't, and you had a chance to try it once or twice, and you can see if it resonates. And if it does, or you want to try it on your own, you'll know how to do it. And it's a way to identify what's causing you stress and to question it and open your mind to other perspectives. It's identifying a story that's causing you pain, that you're ruminating about or dwelling on. So also, I'd like this to be informal and free-spirited. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to unmute and ask or raise your hand.
And I'll be watching questions on the live on our Facebook page too. So
Great. So how I came to find this, I have a retreat center in Maine, and there was a group coming in. It was February, and I was having this huge meltdown, and I'd never had one before. I think maybe it was a panic attack. I'm not sure, but I didn't know how I was going to get through it. And here I was going to be in front of people, guiding people, and it was humbling, to say the least. And the long and the short of it is that I realized I was so filled with self-judgments and high expectations and self-criticism that it was getting harder and harder to be around people. So to have a whole new group of people coming that I didn't know that I was going to be facilitating and guiding and leading, while I barely liked myself in that moment, or I was just talking so much shit about myself, thinking so poorly about myself, trying so hard to get it right, that I kind of lost it. I pulled it together enough, and I think I was just heading towards a level of burnout through self-judgment. And I didn't know what it was. So I was going to Kripalu, a retreat center in Western Massachusetts, and I was there on what's called Seva. So you could go for a week if you volunteered in the kitchen. And I was in there, and I was doing dishes, and discovered Byron Katie was there as well. I was there for a yoga retreat in trade, you know, and I was just starting my business. She was there, I snuck in. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And who is this? What's going on here? I got her book. I snuck in again. I wasn't sure about the book because it read like a workbook and I just wanted to feel better. Yoga wasn't quite helping. Meditation wasn't quite helping. And then I read what she wrote about her 9-day school on her website. This was in 2006. And I couldn't stop weeping. And I pay attention to things like that. So I got myself to Los Angeles somehow to go to her 9-day school. And by day 5, everything started to click, and kind of get undone. And then I just never looked back from there. So I ended up getting very deeply involved in getting certified, which involved at this point attending and staffing 8 schools and a lot of classes and working on their helpline, volunteering on the helpline, and basically pulling all the skeletons out of your closet, taking a good look at them, getting to know yourself and stripping yourself of all the lies you've been believing. So it was quite a trip, quite a 4-year journey. I'm a certified facilitator and it's one of my favorite things to share with people that are open to it. So what is it? You know what the 4 questions are? It's 4 questions that you put up against a stressful thought. Wait a minute. Let me tell you what it's done for me since then. I found myself more fearless, more humble, more reflective to like see my stuff, gentler with myself. And the more I can see my stuff and the more I can be gentler with me, the more I can see your stuff and be gentler with you because you're my mirror. So because I was nicer to me, I was nicer to you. Because I was more friendly to me, I was more friendly to you. And I ended up kind of falling in love with the human race because I started
I love that.
Like
fall in love again with the human race.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's not like I don't still tantrum or get off the wagon or get upset with people, but it passes quicker and it feels so uncomfortable now, like so incredibly uncomfortable. Whereas before it was just kind of like a way of living uncomfortable. Now it's like great life, feeling good, feeling happy, feeling clear, and then something happens. Or I believe a thought or I believe a story. I feel separation. That's not my nature. It's not your nature. It's not your nature to feel separate, to judge, to criticize, to be better than, to be less than. It's not our nature. Our nature, I've come to see, is intimacy, connection, humility, reflection, spaciousness, groundedness, creativity, passion. That's who we are. Appreciative. That's who we are without a story. So what it did for me, I got my parents back. And even though they're dead, I feel really close to them. I really adore them. It saved a lot of relating with my siblings. I'm very dear to all my exes. They feel like family to me. There's a string of them, you know. I love them. I'm able to find the pearls in the situation. Whatever feels like it's off or wrong, in a little bit of time, I can find out where it's right and it's on. Like, oh, that's cool, you know? So that's how it's helped me. Who's she? Short bio. She's a person who discovered when she believed what she thought, she suffered. And when she didn't believe anything she thought, she didn't suffer. And she's come to see that for every human being. And how I interpret that last part is whoever sat with her, she's facilitated hundreds of thousands of people since early 2000s. Only because people kept coming to her, like, what happened to you? Like, huge change. She woke up like Eckhart Tolle, just something broke open and she stayed open. They're kind of 2 peas in a pod. He's a great read and practice too. You familiar with him?
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to read a quote and then I want to launch into the work. At this moment, do you have any questions?
Anybody have any questions? There's a woman, Cynthia, online that says, I was wondering why. I don't know, Cynthia, just follow the link. You should be able to get on the Zoom call. Unless once we started, it's turned itself off, but try again. I don't think I had that in the settings, so. Okay, no, anyone else have another question for Jen? Okay.
All right, this is a quote from Byron Katie, A Mind at Home with Itself, her latest book. And I'll just read the first 2 paragraphs of chapter 12, and the title is Teaching a Cat to Bark. The work deals only with reality. Everything in the world is doing its job. The ceiling sits on the walls. The walls sit on the floor. The curtains are hanging in front of the windows. They're all doing their jobs. But when you tell yourself a story about how reality is supposed to look, you end up arguing with the ceiling or the wall, and it's hopeless. It's like trying to teach a cat to bark. The cat won't ever cooperate. No, you may tell it, you don't understand, you should bark. It would be so much better if you barked. Besides, I really need you to bark. As a matter of fact, I'm going to devote the rest of my life to teaching you how to bark. And many years later, after all your sacrifice and devotion, the cat looks up at you and says, meow. Trying to change people leaves you in a hopeless state of mind because you just can't do it. That's what I love about reality. It is what it is. It won't accommodate itself to you. However you try to will it or force it or trick it or positive think it into changing. As I often say, if you argue with reality, you lose, but only 100% of the time. People change or they don't. Situations change or they don't. It's not your business. Your business is to understand your own mind. When you understand your mind, you feel gratitude when they change and gratitude when they don't. You can argue with reality all you want, or you can stop arguing long enough to understand it and be free. You come to know for yourself what's true, and that's where your freedom is. It has nothing to do with anyone else in your life. People will just keep pressing your buttons until you understand. Isn't that wonderful? It's a setup for enlightenment. As long as you're willing to question your thoughts, I call it checkmate. Miss Kitty, I can get you that quote if you want.
I would love that quote.
Share it.
I think that would be amazing, and I would put it on
Okay.
I upload it to YouTube. It is astounding. I
Oh.
almost want to say, read again. So
Yes. Well, because of time, I won't, because this is precious little. We only have a little bit left already, it seems.
Yes.
That's all you need is just a few minutes. So we're good. We're totally good. So the work is about changing your perspective. It's about broadening your mind to other people's perspectives. It's about seeing how we're really all the same. We're all equally wise. It requires 2 things, which are rather challenging: an open mind and a willingness to answer the 4 questions and the turnarounds and find examples. An open mind is a big deal. And the questions are laser-like and very direct. And my job as a facilitator are to keep you in the questions, not in your story, not in your justification, your defense, your explanation. So whenever you hear come out of your pie hole the words, yeah, but, or because, or however, no, just in your life, whenever you hear but or because or however, everything that follows is a story that keeps you right and the other person wrong. And that story has a big effect. It's like you can be right or you can be free. You can be right or you can have relationships. It's up to you. And she says suffering is optional. And I can't think of what's more important than mental health, because no matter what, the body's going to shit the bed. It just does. But what you put on your body, like, you're still left with your mind. Like, so even if you have the perfect body, you're still left with your mind. So this tool is about clearing the mind of stressful thinking. So I've not found, like, a good universal belief to start with. Like, we're all on the same page here. We're one mind. Let's say we all have one mind. Everybody that's streaming in, everybody's here in this group. Find a situation where you believed the thought, this shouldn't be happening. Can you hear that that's a thought? Can you just step back and see that that's a thought? That's a belief. This shouldn't be happening. So I'm going to invite you to, all of us, to close our eyes and just get still and allow your heart or your mind to give you a situation that you're willing to look more closely at, where you were believing about someone else, not you, someone else, or life, or God, or a situation, a neighbor, a boss, a partner, a child, and a pet, even mother, father. This shouldn't be happening. Maybe it's about the pandemic. Maybe it's about money or health. You pick your this. All right, I'm going to get quiet. This shouldn't be happening. See what comes to mind and get as close to you as the situation as you can. As if it were happening now, as if either you're in it, in your body, in the same room, in the same time and place, or you're looking down at you like a drone's perspective, or from a fly on the ceiling, or wherever you were, if you were outside or in your car. This shouldn't be happening. And if it's, maybe don't start with the biggest one, like something traumatic. We're just getting an introduction here that can be looked at in a more private place where you have more space. It could just be a daily irritant, it could be traffic, being late, technological issue. At least for the people I can see, could you put your hand up if you need more time? Okay. For those of you who don't need more time, let's get closer to the situation. Camille, I'm going to give you another minute or so, and otherwise you can witness us. This shouldn't be happening. Where were you? When was it? Could have been earlier today. I'm gonna share my situation just to give you an example, and maybe something will come to mind if something didn't come to mind for you. I'm at my desk. I'm supposed to upload a bunch of pictures and send them to someone. It's very timely, and my computer's dead. Dead. And I can't figure out how to do it. I can't figure it out in this moment. So that's my moment. This shouldn't be happening. It was late in the morning, about 2 weeks ago. I'm at my desk. It's a sunny day. I'm mentally there. That's why this work is called meditation. You go back to a moment in time. So I'm going to answer the questions from that nanosecond where it's not coming on and I can't figure it out. Does anyone else want to share your situation briefly, like a very short version? You don't need to. Maybe one of you, Kitty?
My situation has to do with doing work and seeing someone putting information up under their name and not giving credit to the people who're doing the work.
Plagiarizer.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
was a definite trigger.
Yes, and stay in that trigger. Maybe it's happened many times in your life, Kitty. Maybe you've noticed it's kind of your thing and you're really careful about it when you write or when you quote people, but stick to that time, okay? What I'm sharing with you is the simple instructions. This isn't about, I'm not trying to like be micromanaging here. I'm trying to share the simple instructions. This tool is so simple, people can't do it because the mind's so complicated, you know? So, all right, you got yours. Does anybody else want to share a situation?
Come on, somebody be brave.
And you don't have to, Kitty. They don't have to.
All right, you don't have to.
As long as you got one, be great if you had one. And if you don't, just witness. Okay. So the first question of the work, I'm going to facilitate, it's a popcorn style facilitation. So we all answer the questions aloud, please, if you will. So please unmute yourself. Let's bring our voices together. It's really powerful to hear each other. Unmute yourself. It's okay if you have background noise, unless it's crazy. Like super distracting. The turtle's fine. We'll deal with it. The turtles are pretty quiet.
It's babbling.
This shouldn't be happening. First question of the work, we're invited to answer with one syllable, yes or no. And watch how crazy you go to not do that. It's so hard, it seems, to just say, yes, it's true, no, it's not. So here we go, the 4 questions. We're gonna put them up against this belief. This shouldn't be happening.
Hey, Jen, we did have a brave volunteer on the Facebook page who said, my old job starting down, how little my paycheck was.
Okay, yes, this shouldn't, maybe you have something around money, like that's crap, what am I gonna do? This shouldn't be happening. Yes, good, thank you. This shouldn't be happening. Is it true? Yes or no? Maybe you go back to that situation, you close your eyes and you answer from there. That helps you stay there. You don't have to, close your eyes, but it often helps me concentrate. Yes, it's true for me. Yes. What's
yes,
your
it's true. Yes, yes, it's true.
Yes, it's true.
Yes, it's true.
Yes, it's true.
If your answer is no, hang out for us, hang out in your no. For the yes people, most of us, we check again. Can you absolutely know it's true? Let your heart meet that question. So we slow down and we get still and we contemplate. Oh, this is also for truth seekers. Are you interested in the truth? Your truth? Have you ever heard the quote, the truth will set you free? Test it. This work can help you test it. Can you absolutely know it's true? This shouldn't be happening. And I'm going to add a couple other questions in there just for you to think about this. But question 2 is enough. But like, there used to be some sub questions there. Can I know what's best for me or anyone? Like, do I know what's best for my path?
No.
Do I know what's of my highest good? Do I know everything right now?
No.
No.
Do I know anything? Like,
No.
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 right. This shouldn't be happening. Can you absolutely know it's true?
No.
And my
No.
friends, what's the reality of it? Is it happening? It's happening. It's like trying to teach a cat to bark. I can't argue with my computer's down. She can't argue with her check being what it is in this moment. She can, go appeal or whatever, or ask for a raise or quit. But she can't change that at that moment. And Kitty, you're the woman that posted the thing, without the proper credit. It is what it is, like the quote.
Right. And do I know that she didn't have credit or permission or, no, I don't absolutely know.
And also just anytime you argue with shouldn't, you lose because it's reality. Whenever we argue with reality, we lose.
Yeah.
Like teaching a cat to bark. Okay, so my answer is an honest no. Can you absolutely know it's true this shouldn't be happening? Yes or no?
No,
No.
no,
No.
no.
And I promise I wasn't trying to like lead you into a no. I was sharing prompts that helped me get honest with myself and reality, which is everything I can't control, which is everything. And everyone, have you noticed?
Mhm.
Okay, so we did question 1 and 2. Question 3, how do you react? What happens when you believe the thought this shouldn't be happening? What happened to you in that moment? Share aloud if you will.
I got pissed.
Angry.
Anxiety.
Sad.
Extremely sad.
I couldn't
Very good.
breathe.
Felt like a victim.
Yes.
Yep.
Constriction. I had tons of constriction right here, my shoulders, my chest. I was like,
And I wanted to write something and straighten it out and get involved.
yeah. You know, and before that, my computer didn't start. Like I was feeling really satisfied. I was feeling really good. I completed a big task and I was just gonna email it. So up until that moment, I was feeling really good. And I love feeling satisfied. So like, how do I react when I believe the thought this shouldn't be happening? I felt the life drain out of me from that one belief. I felt so depleted and stressed and angry and frustrated. How else did you feel?
Well,
Depressed.
yeah, online, one person said swear, angry, rant, rage. Another person said tightness in their body,
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, this is
short
cool.
breath. Yeah,
This is cool. You're pulling in the comments on Facebook. That's great.
yeah.
Hurt.
Thank you, people.
Short breath.
Sometimes you feel like you're not enough.
I went into this victim, Cynthia, to elaborate on the victim mode. I was like, is anything ever going to go right for me?
Yep.
It was like a
Victim,
poor me.
victim.
And then I went into a bad, this is a bad sign. I interpreted it like, uh-oh. I made it mean so much. Anything else?
Well, what occurs to me is the other person, nothing changed for them. It was all on me.
Yeah, they were just doing their job.
They were just writing and doing whatever.
Yeah. Doing their job, hitting your button. So you can be free.
Some people are
That's
born to
question-
be annoying.
What? That's question 3. Now we're on question 4. Same situation, okay? Everything's the same. Who would you be without the thought, this shouldn't be happening? If you couldn't attach to that belief, that shouldn't, who would you have been in that moment?
Just take a second.
What?
I said something.
I said satisfied.
Satisfied.
Peaceful.
Nicer.
Better.
Just enjoying what I was reading without
Oh,
reacting to it.
I'd be
Yeah.
clearer thinking,
Even more-
okay, like what can I do? I'd be getting creative, like problem solving, like, okay,
Yeah.
what are my options? What are my options? I just gotta get this 45 minutes away, I'll drive it over.
Mhm.
I don't have to email it, I'll drive it. Hey, old school.
I'm now seeing how my reaction perpetuated the problem.
Yes.
Yep. Well said.
Jennifer said she would be disengaged. There wouldn't be, there'd be no emotion. So online said they were moving on. They're not sure what they would have done. They hadn't done it, hadn't gotten angry and ranted and raved. And
Yeah, I think also if we could shed the should, we could go on with our lives with greater peace and greater love.
Hey, Sue, do that as an I, okay?
Okay, yeah. If I could shed the should, I could go on with my life with greater peace and love.
I love that. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's like, this work is about responsibility.
Yep.
So that put it in the I, like,
For
I could
me,
get
that
more
frees,
done.
for
Somebody-
me, that kind of frees us from judgment when we can disengage and drop that.
Did you hear that, Jen?
yeah, yeah. This might have been my day I get a new computer. Yay. Mine is 1,000 years old. Like, I could have been like, okay, this is the day. This is when the story's over with this thing. How fun. I knew right where to go to get it too. They sell, refurbished ones. They'd hook me up. So I'd be like, huh, just wonder where this is gonna go. Curious. How am I gonna solve this one? How's the universe gonna be friendly in this one?
Well, I realized I wouldn't have gone on to talk about it and be upset about it. It would just not be part of my makeup. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be reacting to it like many other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So question 3 is where you go down the rabbit hole when you believe it. That's where you go into the hell of it, the backwaters, the underworld of your mind. You
Yep.
rant and you rave, you own how you react, and give just as much time and credence to question 4, which is a hard question. Who would you be without the thought? You all did great. You were very open-minded to explore hanging out in question 4, which is like, to me, freedom. In the same life happens all the time. How you
That's
dealing
right.
with it, how you doing. And question 4 shows us like the open mind. So let's get even more open. So now we go to the turnarounds. We did the 4 questions. Is it true? If it's yes, you go to, can you absolutely know it's true?
No.
How do you react when you believe the thought? Who would you be without the thought? Turn the thought around. This shouldn't be happening. What's opposite of shouldn't?
Should.
Super simple. This is where people get tripped up. The turnarounds are very simple. You don't come up with a whole new philosophy of life. You just change the verb or you change the pronoun. Okay? So we changed shouldn't to should. This should be happening. Now we find genuine, concrete
Yep.
examples
Genuine.
of why it's a good thing that it went just like it did. What is it showing you now? What was the pearl in the situation? What are you waking up to? What's the gift? This should be happening. Do you have a genuine example?
Well, that's really hard to process that. This should be happening without kind of jumping into why me and all of those other questions.
Right.
If you say this should be happening, especially if it's something big.
Well, Kitty, you know you're something. We're not switching situations. You have your situation. It should be happening because it is, and it did. We already are catching up how we can't teach a cat to bark. It should have happened because it effing did.
Yeah, it effing did.
So now why is it a good thing?
Okay.
Well, it's also that, the changing the it shouldn't be to should. What is occurring is correct.
Yes.
Right.
And when is good luck, bad luck, and bad luck, good luck?
Yes.
So it should be happening. So that's the turnaround.
So Sue, I love that. And let's come down to earth a little bit closer and try to get genuine, concrete with your situation.
To give Kitty, we don't want to annoy Kitty, but that is an old Buddhist saying. When is good luck, bad luck, and bad luck, good luck?
Okay.
So now, get back to earth. So go ahead. I just had to make sure Kitty knew the source. I don't want her after me.
That's good. That's good. That was from Buddha.
Ascended master is always welcome. So.
Should be happening.
It should be happening. Okay.
Well, I'll give an example from my situation. It showed me how quick I react still. It still showed me my fragility. Like I went from satisfied and peaceful to a wreck in an instant. So, okay, it just shows me I have more work to do to be more equanimous. It's kind of like a goal of mine to be more even keeled, equanimous. Things happen. Less reactive, like yay or shit, yay, shit. Like all day long we can be like this. So just like that.
Like I swear, like me.
Sorry, I swear like a pirate.
Nobody here swears.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
we
showed-
all speak perfect English and never swear.
So my example is, it just, as I look back at myself, because I have not done the work on this situation, it just shows me how quickly I react still. When things don't go my way, I thought. It shows me my control issues. I had an agenda and I had a timing, and that wasn't gonna be. So that's controlling, you know?
I wish I would have had this last week when my electricity went out.
So, so Jennifer says, I disagree with walking away from things that shouldn't happen. A great deal of human progress is made by fighting for change because this shouldn't be happening.
Well, something like slavery.
You know.
Yeah.
But we're talking about our reality in the moment kind of thing. It should be happening, like you said, a big trauma, but
Or
I
abuse.
actually really like this. It should be happening. Now what am I going to do about it? Maybe
Yeah.
that's the should. I'm going to do something about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to miss that point about the slavery, though. I want to speak to it, but not just yet. Let's just see if anybody else comes up with any examples from your situation. This should be happening. What did you learn from it? Can you see how it worked out for you anyway? Can you find the friendliness in it? This work is about testing if it's a friendly universe. And I keep testing it, and I'm finding more and more that it is. If I have perspective and if I step back and I open my mind.
Yeah.
Well, certainly in my case, it should be happening because she's doing her, and what business of it is mine.
Okay, so in the little book that she discusses 3 businesses, if you read that, so you're discovering where you got out of your business and hurt yourself when you did that.
Right, in mine, yes. I got out of my business and I hurt myself. Yep.
Yeah.
In mine, it was clearly an unbalanced exchange. That was the should.
It's made me more compassionate, more caring, aware of what other people feel.
I need to not react so quickly.
Really.
Yeah, because I really understand that if I'm trying to be even keel, there are things I just need to take a step back from.
Well, I'm gonna hope to communicate this well and open to a brief discussion, but I want to make sure we stay in the work because I don't want to stray too far, but I want to address that person's question. For things like, okay, this shouldn't be happening, go bigger scale, and we turn it around to this should be happening. If you talk about child abuse and human trafficking and climate change and slavery and what's happening at the border and incredible atrocities that we do to human beings and animals. Like,
Horrible.
this work isn't about condoning anything ever. It's not about condoning. It's about waking up to reality. It should be happening because it is. So how did that come to be, and how are we going to change it? Because if we sit around and go, this shouldn't be happening while it's happening, now we're attacking and creating defensiveness and it's war. We're creating war. But if we can create like a peace movement, like a non-violent movement towards change, and where am I abusing and oppressing and enslaving for, like, how am I doing that to myself or people around me? Where, like, I got to clean up this. Let me be an activist for peace by first doing my work and then being unstoppable and fearless. I'm being general, but I'm certainly not wanting to dismiss or offend, because there's a lot of shit that we do to each other. It's horrible. Okay. That's not about that. This isn't we still have war. We still do war. Aren't we amazing? I mean, how barbaric that it's sanctioned murder by governments, including ours. That's legal. So instead of me saying this shouldn't be happening, it should be, because it is. I'm in reality.
Yeah.
I can't teach a cat to bark. So how can I be for peace? How can I be for health and healing? What can I do? What can I start? What nonprofit can I get involved in the name of positive change?
Part of the solution.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful way to look at that. It should be happening because, like Sabrina said out here, I hear the resistance to work with this. It's releasing to the control of reality. It should be happening because it is, and now I can deal with what it is versus trying to figure out the piece.
Yeah. Dealing with what is. Let's deal with it. We're not denying it. We're not condoning it. We're not shoving it under the rug. It should be because it is. Now what? Now what? Now what?
Yeah.
And let's come back now to your situation that came to your heart, your mind. This should be happening. This shouldn't be happening is the belief. Let's find another turnaround. I can only see one. Sometimes there's many turnarounds. I can only see one, and maybe you can see others. Let's do the one I can see. My thinking shouldn't be happening. This is like the situation. You take the subject and you put your thinking on it. My mind or my thinking shouldn't be happening about the situation or the person. Can you sit with that for a moment? My thinking shouldn't be happening. Can you step back and witness your reactions and the associated emotions where you are arguing with reality? What you did to yourself in question 3, how you reacted, how you were unkind, unbalanced. Are you tracking this? My thinking shouldn't be happening. Like I defeated myself. I became a victim. That was thinking. Hopelessness. I went into despair. Despair comes from negative thinking. Hopelessness comes from negative thinking. Can you see that turnaround? Do you want to speak to it? Do you have an example? My thinking shouldn't be happening. Did your thought have a baby and many babies after that? Because they do. Then it's this whole clan of like, it's a mess. You don't even know why you're depressed or anxious or can't sleep. It's such
By
a
the time
mess.
you turn around, you're sunk lower than the floor. I know mine shouldn't be happening right now.
Yeah. Well, what?
I've had a lot of death in my family recently, and it's been a tough year. And so, of course, I want to say it shouldn't be happening.
Yes.
But the reality is, it did happen.
Yes.
Not that it should happen, it did happen.
Yes.
So my thoughts need to change to be able to deal with that reality.
Yes. Yes.
We love you, Kate.
No one dies in vain. No one dies in vain. No one dies in vain. And it's opening your heart.
I would say in some thought and mind, every day we live a day closer to the death for the spirit of eternal life. That's the way I look at death. You know, it's a one day closer while we're living to death, because it's the gift of going to spirit fully instead of being in a human condition. That's what I think. That's how I feel about it.
I agree.
It's the
It's
gift,
hard.
you know.
My thinking
Should be celebrating it.
shouldn't be happening. My thinking shouldn't be happening. Do you have any examples? I don't want to get into fixing Kate. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I started it. I was trying to stick with inquiry though. So Camille, what you said was beautiful, and it's not the work. You could talk to her later. And I'm sure this is your dialogue, so excuse me, I'm just plopping in but I want to stick to her self-realization. So Kate's realization, Camille's mine, come back home. My thinking shouldn't be happening. Can you find an example? She found that she put herself in a depression.
Yeah.
Beyond the losses, and this is waking her up to that.
In my case, my thinking shouldn't have happened that I'm worried about somebody else's work that's being written, and somehow I have to, stand up for somebody who may not even be hurt or offended or any of those things. Again, that whole thing, it's really not my business.
My thinking should not be happening, and taking that, to me, I see that as a way to look at my stumbling blocks, the holes in the dike. Where do I need work? Where do I need to change an attitude?
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
I agree.
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah, where can I shift my perspective?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Sabrina says, just like Sandra Pelly's releasing expectations of how something should have gone or someone should have done. That's how you can shift the thinking.
Wow, that's great. I love it.
Trying to find the positive in things.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 That's the work. You identify a stressful thought. I kind of did it for us. So we had a universal belief for all of us to look at together, but you found your situation, hopefully, or if you didn't, that's okay. But if you're to try this work on your own, you're invited to find a situation and then put it up against these 4 questions, turnarounds, and examples in writing. When you facilitate yourself, you do it in writing because it's too crazy up in there. It's too squirrely, and you'll forget what you're even doing. And this is sort of like a confrontation to your ego. You're questioning your rightness, your opinion. You're questioning what you think you know about the world or something. You're opening your mind. So it's good to have it in writing. So when you get distracted, the mind is stopped on paper. And at thework.com, there's free worksheets to do the work yourself, to facilitate yourself. Thework.com, you click resources, and there's a bunch of worksheets you can download for free. One's called the One Belief at a Time worksheet. That's what we just did. We did the work on one belief at a time. You follow it all the way through. 4 questions, turnarounds, and examples, and it guides you. It breaks it right down, makes it really easy. The little book guides you too. There's a lot of Byron Katie on YouTube, or you can see. How do I do it? You can. That's her latest book. I wouldn't start with that book. It's kind of wild. It's radical, but go for it if you're up for a radical trip, definitely. But it might be a kinder start to start with. So I'm going to give you resources right now and then take questions. So resources, thework.com, YouTube. You can watch her facilitate people. You can sign up for a newsletter and get some very profound monthly dialogues or interviews. She's doing something on Zoom every day at lunch. I think it's called Breakfast with Katie, and that's because it's breakfast time in Los Angeles, in California. So it's noon for East Coast, 9 for Pacific Standard, and it's by donation, and you can be with her during breakfast or lunch or whatever, wherever you are in the world. That's super affordable, and she's very accessible. There's a helpline. If you go to thework.com, I volunteer there sometimes, and you click resources and you click helpline, you can call and get facilitated like privately. All you have to do is have a stressful thought and someone will support you in inquiry. It's called inquiry, self-inquiry meditation. Sometimes it's called that, or inquiry. I work with people through Zoom, in person or on the phone, one-on-one. All around all kinds of things around body, addiction, relationship, money, career, vocation, life and death. Those are some issues I've looked deeply into. So I think Kitty's going to share my contact information with you.
I will.
Yeah, thank you. And I will be available. Also, if you go to ntnretreats.com, NTN as in nurture through nature, retreats.com, ntnretreats.com. And I have a coaching page, Spirals of Wellbeing, there. So your free things would be YouTube, her website, and the helpline. Yep. So do you have questions? Do you have comments, concerns?
We have about 10 minutes, guys. So
It sounds like a lot of the problems are judgments, that we make judgments on people or things. Is that true?
Well, the work is to identify and question the thoughts that are causing you depression, anxiety, stress. You can just call it stress. Yeah, the thoughts you have that are positive or feel good, you keep them. Those are all yours. But it's the ones that hurt, that separate you or keep you from who you really are, which is a kind, loving, connected human. That doesn't mean you have to invite everybody over for dinner. It's not that. Like, maybe you've ended relationships and that's the healthiest, best thing for you to do. But it's for if you haven't forgiven somebody 100%, you can do the work on that person. If you haven't fully forgiven someone, that's costing you your peace.
Yeah.
You would do it for you. You would enlighten yourself.
How would you approach something like that? Because I really do have somebody in my life that I haven't fully forgiven, and I do lose my peace to that person sometimes. But how would you even begin something like that? Like, what?
I have an idea. At thework.com, there's a worksheet called Judge Your Neighbor Worksheet. Think of it, the Judge Your Neighbor Worksheet at thework.com.
Oh, okay.
Print it and get the war on paper about that person. Go back to a specific memory where you felt stabbed in the back or kicked in the stomach or whatever happened, betrayed, unloved, and you write it on them. You don't write it on you. I am angry with blank because they hurt me. That might be there's 6 questions on this worksheet, and you fill it all out. I want them to, they should, I need them to, they are, I don't ever want to experience, and you get that hell on paper. And then you do the work, what we just did on concept, on each concept. I would call the helpline and get supported if it's a big one, if it's a big thing, like, it's an old, like 40 years old, 50-year-old pain. Is it, like from a parent, or you might need some support. You don't, though, you don't have to. But the cool thing about this work, once you get it, you don't need a facilitator. You really don't. It's just you and you. All you need is a pen and paper. Once you get it,
That's really amazing that there's
Yeah.
mine. Mine would be around betrayal, and that there's actually somebody who, if you get stuck even in the work, you could go and talk to them, and they can help, like maybe get you through the turnaround or what you do
Yeah.
to try to tease that out. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, they betrayed me. You do the work on they betrayed me, and you have a situation in mind. You come to the turnarounds and you discover where you betrayed you, and you get real about it, and you give real examples how you left you, how you lied to you, how you wanted something from them, so you stuck around.
I see Camille has a question, so I want to make sure she gets it.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask, what if you have a mental illness? Do you believe in mental illness?
Yeah.
I'm curious, what if you have a mental illness and you're working with this? And I'm just curious because I do, or at least I've been told. I kind of feel it's more of a spiritual breakthrough than a breakdown each time now, but I'm just curious.
It can support you in healing. It can help with clarity and pull you out of the stress of victimhood or blame. It takes you out of the blame game, which in the resentment game, we can't heal with the blame, with the resentment, so yeah, maybe you have this baseline of something going on, but like for me, I still want to do everything I possibly can to be mentally well.
Yeah, of course.
With nutrition, with sun, with qigong, with exercise, with inquiry, with meditation. I'm doing it. I'm doing it all, including canoeing, because that is really good for my mental health. And taking pictures and whatever, but I do the work when I need to on a regular basis. And whether you're on meds or not, doesn't matter.
Right.
If you're prescribed, you stay on them and you do this it's a form of meditation.
Yeah.
And who knows, you might not need as many because you might feel less anxious. I bring this practice into the women's prison here, and they're all pretty medicated on stuff, and they all seem to struggle. I don't know about all, but seems to be a predominance of anxiety and a lot of addiction recovery. So we meditate for 5 or 10 minutes and they feel so different. And this is meditation. If you can lower your stress level, you can help your immune system and you can help your blood chemistry.
Right.
Well, I just think the fact that when you find yourself in some kind of suffering, to have a tool to take it through at least gives you an action versus this kind of feeling. Yeah.
I wrote that before, act instead of react. Yeah, because that's what we need to do, right?
You.
I need to react.
Oh.
Yeah, that's an important thing to remember whenever we kind of, especially in this spiritual community, we tend to talk in a we and a us, and it's not, it's also good to remember I. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I do.
Clever. I think it's clever to stick the we in, and I'm not judging you. I do it too, and I really try hard to not do it anymore. There's something about it that doesn't feel responsible. It's just like a spiritual, it's like esoteric instead of like, it's humbling to say I.
Yep.
It is, it's very humbling. Sue online shared the work. I've been sharing it all week. The link to the work and the downloads are there, besides the 4 questions. So
that's the link to Judge Your Neighbor.
Oh, Judge Your Neighbor, great. The specific worksheet, thank you, Sue.
Right.
And but yeah, there's an amazing amount of free things that you can go through, and people like you, Jen, who will volunteer and help take us through this. We have about 4 minutes left. Anyone have a comment or something they'd like to say or a question? I so appreciate you coming, and I know I can see on faces of my friends, I can see there's a lot of wheels turning on things. So any last questions on the Facebook group?
Jen, do you know Robbie Walsh, who did the work with Byron Katie as well?
I don't think so.
No, he's probably older. but I did it some years ago with him. But with my thought and mind, I had trouble even before you said be a witness of it. I have trouble with thinking of a question, or putting it into a form of the situation that we're supposed to be studying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, but when I'm asked a question, I go blank. Is that a fear, would you think?
I don't
I'm
know.
ju-
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
know, but ask the
you
four
know what?
questions about
You
it.
know what's a really nice support is Insight Timer. If you have a smartphone, that app, it's a free app.
Mhm.
It has
It's
10,000
perfect.
10,000 meditations on it.
Oh,
And maybe if you get a little more focused mentally, you might be able to have more, I'll just say, success at this, because it does take concentration. So
right, it
you
does.
can develop your concentration. We're
Yeah.
all very distracted.
Hmm.
Yes.
Sorry to disappoint you. It's kind of a human thing.
Uh-oh.
And maybe you have a little extra something because of your self-proclaimed mental illness, but you also get to own how mentally well you are. That's the turn.
Oh yeah, no, I feel a wellness about it.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, I was just asking.
Yes. Yeah.
We have people saying, Jackie says, thank you, very informative, amazing. Thank you for sharing. Really, Jen, thank you very, very much. I think that this work is so amazing, and it was really nice to hear it kind of go through the process. I've read it, I've watched the videos, but it's really nice to have a human being to kind of ask you the question too. So I'm glad to know that there's a helpline too, if you
Yeah.
are doing something.
Yep.
That's pretty amazing.
It's so nice. It's so sweet. Someone will hold you in this. They'll hold you in inquiry.
Mm.
Very cool. And I will put Jen's contact information up, and please check out her Nurture Through Nature site. Very, very interesting retreats. And if you're looking for something, I'm thinking that we're going to be sponsoring stuff down the road, and that's definitely a place. It's off the grid. I read that it was the first certified earth-friendly retreat center in Maine, right?
Ah, baby.
Yeah. Very nice. So
Thank you.
thank you all
Thanks,
very much
everyone.
for coming.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
uh,
Thanks.
good night and
Good night.
namaste, folks. Thank you so much, Jen.
Thank you, Jen. It was
Thank you.
awesome.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, it was
Thank you,
wonderful.
Jen.
Thanks, Jen.
Bye.
Thank you.
Excellent.
I forgot to record this.
No, you recorded it.
I know I'm live, but I didn't record it.
Oh,
Oh, no.
have her back.